Have you ever wondered how one man could change the course of history? This is not a question to be taken lightly. When we delve into the annals of time, one name often stands out, commanding our attention with an aura of power, mystery, and intrigue: Julius Caesar. Julius Caesar, a name that rings through the ages, echoing in the hallowed halls of history. A man of great ambition, cunning mind, and commanding presence, he was a force that forever altered the course of human events. His life, his empire, and his death have been subjects of endless debate, analysis, and fascination. Born into a world ruled by the iron fist of the Roman Republic, Caesar would prove to be its greatest challenge and its most profound change. His rise to power, his reign, and his death, all played out on the grand stage of the ancient world, have shaped the course of Western civilization in ways that are still evident today. But what is it about this man that continues to captivate us? Is it his military genius, evidenced in his victorious campaigns across Gaul, or perhaps his political acumen, which allowed him to navigate the treacherous waters of Roman politics and rise to a position of unprecedented power? Or is it the dramatic and violent end to his life, immortalized in the words of Shakespeare and the pages of countless history books? Over the course of this video, we will attempt to unravel the enigma that is Julius Caesar. We will explore his early life and the events that shaped him into the man he became. We will delve into his rise to power, examining the alliances he formed, the battles he fought, and the decisions he made. We'll look at his reign, the changes he implemented, and the challenges he faced. And finally, we'll confront his tragic end, the result of ambition, fear, and betrayal. So, who exactly was Julius Caesar, and how did he rise to such power? Therein lies a tale of ambition, power, and betrayal, a tale as timeless as history itself. Born into a lineage of nobility, Julius Caesar's early life was far from ordinary. In the bustling heart of Rome in 100 BC, a child was born to a family of patricians, the Julii Caesares, a family that traced its roots back to the mythical founders of Rome and even the goddess Venus. This child, Gaius Julius Caesar, was born into a world of privilege, but also a world fraught with political unrest and social upheaval. Caesar's early years were spent in the Subura, a cosmopolitan district of Rome, known for its diverse mix of inhabitants. His education was typical of a young Roman boy of noble birth. He was tutored at home, learning the art of public speaking, the principles of law, and the intricacies of military strategy, among other subjects. His tutors also instilled in him the virtues of courage, loyalty, and respect for tradition, all of which would play significant roles in his later life. But young Caesar was not just a bookish boy. He was ambitious, with dreams that far exceeded the confines of his family's modest estate. He yearned for greatness, a desire that was fueled by the stories of glorious Roman heroes of yore. Despite his youth, his keen mind understood the political climate of Rome, marked by alliances, betrayals, and power struggles. He observed the workings of the Roman Senate, the hub of Roman politics, and aspired to be part of it, to shape the future of Rome. His ambitions were not unfounded. After all, he was of noble blood, and his family, though not as influential as some, had a respectable standing in Roman society. His path was not without obstacles, but he was determined to overcome them. He knew he had the potential to rise through the ranks of the Roman political system, to leave his mark on the annals of Roman history. This ambitious young man was destined to ascend the ranks, but little did he know just how high he would climb. Julius Caesar's rise to power was nothing short of extraordinary. The tale of his ascent is one of strategic alliances, military prowess, and political acumen. In the fickle world of Roman politics, Caesar quickly distinguished himself. His charisma and eloquence won him allies and influence, yet it was his ambition that set him apart. Unfazed by the prospect of making enemies, he aligned himself with the powerful and the influential. This strategy led to the formation of the First Triumvirate, an informal alliance between Caesar, Pompey, a respected military leader, and Crassus, the wealthiest man in Rome. This triumvirate held sway over Roman politics for a decade, propelling Caesar further up the ladder of power. Caesar's military success was another cornerstone of his rise. His conquest of Gaul, now modern-day France and Belgium, expanded the Roman Empire and brought him immense wealth and prestige. His military prowess wasn't just a display of brute force, it was a testament to his strategic genius, his ability to inspire loyalty among his troops, and his knack for turning enemies into allies. The culmination of Caesar's rise was his appointment as dictator. In the eyes of his supporters, this was a necessary move to restore order in a republic plagued by political infighting and social unrest. To his detractors, however, this was a blatant power grab, an affront to the democratic principles of the republic. Caesar's rise to power was not without its costs. His ambition made him enemies, his alliances made him vulnerable, and his military victories made him a target. Nonetheless, he navigated the treacherous waters of Roman politics with an unerring instinct for survival. He wielded power with a deftness that was both admired and feared, leaving an indelible mark on the Roman Republic and the world at large. But with great power comes great controversy. And as Caesar would soon discover, his ascent to the pinnacle of power would trigger a series of events that would forever change the course of history. As Julius Caesar ascended to the pinnacle of power, Rome was forever changed. His reign, though relatively brief, was marked by significant political and social reform. He held absolute power, but he used it not for personal gain, but to transform Rome into a city of unparalleled grandeur. Caesar was a leader who understood the importance of public perception. He initiated a series of ambitious construction projects throughout the city, including the Caesar's Forum, a new basilica, and the famed Julian calendar, which remains in use even today. These projects were not just about beautifying Rome. They were a testament to Caesar's vision of creating a city that was equal to its status as the heart of a vast empire. His policies, too, were far-reaching and transformative. He introduced a new constitution aimed at centralizing the Roman bureaucracy and reducing corruption. He extended Roman citizenship to many provincial inhabitants, breaking down the barriers between Rome and its far-flung territories. He reformed the tax system, making it more equitable and less burdensome for the poor. And he introduced a new form of land redistribution, providing for the veterans of his armies and the urban poor. Caesar's influence on the Roman Empire was profound. His reign marked a turning point, a shift from the old republic to the autocracy of the empire. He centralized power, brought stability, and set the stage for the Pax Romana, a period of relative peace and stability that would last for 2 centuries. But Caesar was not just a political leader. He was a cultural icon. His writings, his speeches, and his personal style left an indelible mark on Rome. He was admired, feared, and even deified. He was a man of the people, yet he was also a man of the gods. Despite his success, Caesar's reign was not without its critics. There were those who saw his policies as too radical, his power as too absolute, and his ambitions as too grand. But whether loved or loathed, Julius Caesar was a leader who left an indelible mark on Rome and on history. Every empire has its downfall, and for Julius Caesar, his was orchestrated by those closest to him. This scene paints a vivid picture of betrayal, a plot woven in the heart of Rome by men who once called Caesar their friend. It was a conspiracy that was as intricate as it was treacherous. The masterminds of this plot were none other than the senators of Rome, men of power and influence, who feared Caesar's growing authority. Their concerns were not entirely unfounded. After all, Caesar had declared himself dictator perpetuo, dictator in perpetuity. This move had raised several eyebrows, for it was a clear deviation from the Roman tradition of temporary dictatorship during crises. The senators, therefore, saw this as a threat to the Republic's democratic fabric. As the Ides of March, the 15th of March in the Roman calendar, approached, the conspirators' plan was set into motion. The prophecy of the soothsayer warning Caesar of the Ides of March turned into a chilling reality. The Senate House became the stage for one of history's most infamous assassinations. On that fateful day, Caesar was surrounded by senators under the pretense of a meeting. As he began to read a petition handed to him, the conspirators attacked. Caesar, the mighty ruler, was stabbed 23 times. Among the attackers was Marcus Brutus, a man Caesar considered a friend. The betrayal was so profound that Caesar's last words were reportedly, "Et tu, Brute," and you, Brutus. Caesar's death marked the end of an era, but his legacy lived on. The man who had risen from obscurity to become one of Rome's most powerful rulers had been silenced by his own people. His downfall was tragic, but it was a pivotal moment that would forever change the course of Roman history. The echoes of Caesar's life and death would reverberate through the centuries, shaping the world as we know it today. Indeed, every empire has its downfall, but not every emperor leaves a legacy as enduring as Julius Caesar. Despite his death, Julius Caesar's influence on the world did not end. The aftermath of his demise was a tumultuous period that changed the course of Roman history forever. The power vacuum that his death left behind triggered a series of civil wars that ultimately led to the end of the Roman Republic and the birth of the Roman Empire. His adopted heir, Octavian, later known as Augustus, emerged victorious, becoming the first Roman emperor and ushering in a time of relative peace and prosperity known as the Pax Romana. But Caesar's legacy extends far beyond the borders of Rome. His military strategies are still studied in war colleges around the world today. His political reforms, though controversial, paved the way for a new era of governance. His life and death have been the subject of countless books, plays and films, including one of Shakespeare's most famous tragedies, Julius Caesar. His name has become synonymous with power and leadership, a testament to his enduring influence. Moreover, Caesar's impact on language and culture is profound. He gave us the Julian calendar, a system that, with some modifications, is still in use today as the Gregorian calendar. His name lives on in the titles of Russian Tsars and German Kaisers. Even the caesarean section, a method of childbirth, is erroneously linked to his name, further cementing his place in everyday vernacular. In the end, Julius Caesar was more than just a man or an emperor. He was a force of nature, a pivotal figure whose actions shaped the world as we know it. His life was a complex tapestry of ambition, power, and ultimately, tragedy. But through it all, his influence has endured, his name has survived, and his legacy has become legendary. Julius Caesar, a man, an emperor, a legend. In just a few minutes, we've journeyed through the extraordinary life of Julius Caesar. From his humble beginnings in early Roman society, we've witnessed Caesar's meteoric rise to power, the zenith of his reign, and the dramatic downfall that resulted in his tragic assassination. We've also delved into the rich legacy he left behind, a legacy that continues to shape the world as we know it. Born into a patrician family with a long but not particularly illustrious history, Caesar's early life was marked by adversity and struggle. Yet these challenges only served to fuel his ambition, and he soon began his ascent through the ranks of Roman society. Through a combination of strategic alliances, military prowess and political savvy, Caesar emerged as a prominent figure in Rome's turbulent political landscape. His rise to power was nothing short of phenomenal. As we've seen, Caesar's military triumphs, particularly his conquest of Gaul, bolstered his reputation and made him a beloved figure among the Roman populace. His return to Rome saw him appointed as dictator, and he embarked on a series of sweeping reforms that would redefine the Roman Empire. At the peak of his reign, Caesar was a figure of immense power and influence. But as the saying goes, absolute power corrupts absolutely. His actions began to alienate those around him, and fears of a return to monarchy began to circulate. This tension culminated in the infamous Ides of March, when a group of conspirators, including some of his closest allies, assassinated Caesar in the Senate. Yet even in death, Caesar's influence was far from over. His assassination sparked a period of civil war in Rome, eventually leading to the rise of his adopted son Octavian, who would become the first Roman emperor. Caesar's legacy lived on in the empire he helped shape, and his impact can still be felt today, more than 2,000 years later. From our currency to our calendar, from our political systems to our literature, traces of Caesar's influence permeate every aspect of our lives. His life story, filled with ambition, power, betrayal, and tragedy, continues to captivate us, serving as a timeless reminder of the heights humans can reach and the depths to which they can fall. In conclusion, the life, empire, and death of Julius Caesar is a tale as grand as the man himself. It's a story of human ambition, political intrigue, and the ever-present struggle for power. It's a testament to the indomitable spirit of a man who, against all odds, rose to become one of the most influential figures in history. Julius Caesar's life, empire, and death continue to intrigue us centuries later, proving that his influence truly transcends time.